Good morning, I'm Pastor Eric Elkin, the lead pastor at Advent United Methodist Church, and I want to wish you a good day. I'm going to try to work on smiling while I talk because my wife told me when I talk, when I'm being recorded, I never smile. So I'm going to work on that, even though I have really some serious things to talk about. It's March 23rd, Monday, March 23rd, and I wanted to be able to communicate to as many people in the congregation as possible. I wanted to speak with you because I feel like we're entering a critical phase in our battle against the COVID-19 pandemic. On one hand, we've gone a week of social isolation. We're kind of probably banging our heads off the walls, being alone from each other, and so we're starting to get frayed a little bit on the nerves and wanting to get out and do things. On the other hand, we're hitting this point in the life of the virus that we really need to go deeper into isolation. Drugs and cures take time to develop, but social isolation is one of the simplest, most effective tools that can be used. And we're going to need to do this. We used to have this rule at camp that said never compromise on safety. When you're a camp director, you're so much more aware of your responsibility to the health and welfare of children because you're living with them 24/7. That isn't always the case when you're the pastor of the church, but I take that role very seriously. And I want you to know there's a lot of things you can compromise on. There's a lot of things you can improvise from, but there's one thing we do not compromise on, and that is safety. Right now, what we're being asked to do, we need to remember that this is just a temporary inconvenience. Even if it lasts for 2 months, in the big scale of things, it is very, very minor. But we are making this inconvenience so that we can have a better and a healthier world. Because of this, I just wanted you to know that we're suspending all in-person activity until further notice. This includes any group smaller than 10, and this also includes staff. We're going to also want you to know that the podcast Out of Ordinary Voices is going to be our main platform for offering a worship experience on Sundays. It's going to be our main platform because that is the one I know how to produce. It's one that we're already geared up to do, and all you need to do is listen. And you can go and listen to the podcast by going to any podcast provider. You can go to Spotify, you can go to SoundCloud, you can go to iTunes, you can go to the Ordinary Voices website and listen. You only have to listen. We will offer a link to that in Advent Connect. We'll offer a link to it on our homepage of our own website, but it's just right now the easiest, simplest platform to get it out to you. You don't have to register and be part of the mailing list, but if you do become part of that mailing list, one of the things that I am doing is interviewing people and doing what we call Lectio Divina readings of Scripture. Scripture that allows people to express what they hear about going on in this word, and also then to enter a time of prayer. I'll release devotions on Tuesdays and Thursdays like I always do. You don't have to be a part of that, but if you sign up for the email, you will become a part of that. We are going to continue to explore options on the YouTube channel that we just created for Advent. You can go there. This is going to be our visual connection to our community. We know we can't just share words. We also need to be able to see each other and to experience community even if it's digitally. We'll continue to explore options for worship on that channel, but right now our main worship experience is going to be taking place as a podcast. We will be using our Zoom services to hold face-to-face meetings. Tuesdays at 10 Bible study, we'll be using Zoom to resume the Bible studies. We're going to continue to explore Zoom as well to see how many of the regular church activities we can resume using that format. You also need to understand that everybody is doing this right now and everybody is learning, so there's kind of a taxing to the system, so please be aware of that. Advent Connect email and social media will be our platforms for communicating changes and updates in our life and all in the days ahead. So we want you to be aware of that. Most importantly, I came in today to get a church directory. It's a church directory from 2013, 2014. And I'm just going to start going through that directory and calling people to connect with them and see where they are in life. And I invite you to do the same. The people you are connected to in church, call them. Call them on the phone and see how they're doing. Let us remain a community even in our isolation. I also wanted to share with you these words from the 139th Psalm. I think this is a really important thing to remember. In the 139th Psalm is part of the Psalms of Ascension. It's the Psalms that people would read and sing when they've moved out of their isolation in their small little towns and were moving to Jerusalem for the high holy days to celebrate. But they would read and sing this psalm. Where could I go to get away from your spirit? Where could I go to escape your presence? If I went up to heaven, you would be there. If I went down to the grave, you would be there too. If I could fly on the wings of dawn, stopping to rest only on the far side of the ocean, even there your hand would guide me. Even there your strong hand would hold me tight. If I said the darkness will definitely hide me, the light will become night around me, even the darkness is not dark for you. Nighttime would shine as bright as day, because darkness is the same as light to you. And I hope you remember that darkness gathers the deepest around the light, and we are always dwelling in that light. And we know darkness cannot overcome it. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.